Welcome to the channel Refiner's Fire. We are beginning a series exploring the rise and fall of the men who ruled Israel. Kings of the Bible. Through each life, God reveals the heart of a king and the cost of leadership without surrender. In this first episode, we step into the story of Saul, Israel's very first king. Saul was a young man from the hill country of Benjamin, son of Kish, from a notable family. He stood head and shoulders above everyone else, a striking figure yet unambitious. And there was not among the children of Israel a goodlier person than he. From his shoulders and upward, he was higher than any of the people. The story begins quietly, not with a throne, but with missing donkeys. His father's donkeys were lost, and Saul obeyed his father's simple instruction. Go and find them. Take one of the servants with you and go look for the donkeys. Saul's journey took him across many regions, from the hill country of Ephraim to the land of Zuph, a distance of nearly 60 to 80 kilometers. It was not just a physical pursuit. It would soon become spiritual.
When Saul considered returning, worried his father would grow anxious, his servant suggested visiting a prophet, Samuel, the seer. Saul didn't know this, but God had already chosen him. And God had said to Samuel, "Tomorrow I will send you a man from the land of Benjamin. Anoint him ruler over my people Israel." Saul did not chase a crown, in fact, he shrank from it. Samuel privately anointed him with oil. The Spirit of God would come upon him and change him. Later, when it was time for his public presentation, Saul was nowhere to be found. Therefore they inquired of the Lord further, if the man should yet come thither. And the Lord answered, "Behold, he hath hid himself among the stuff." Reluctant, humble, unprepared. Yet God had chosen him.
Saul's first act as king came when the Ammonites threatened Jabesh Gilead. The Spirit of God rushed upon him. He rallied Israel, tore apart oxen, and united the tribes in battle. And the Spirit of God came upon Saul when he heard those tidings, and his anger was kindled greatly. And he took a yoke of oxen, and hewed them in pieces, and sent them throughout all the coasts of Israel by the hands of messengers, saying, "Whosoever cometh not forth after Saul and after Samuel, so shall it be done unto his oxen." And the fear of the Lord fell on the people, and they came out with one consent. Victory was swift. The people rejoiced. Saul stood tall, favored by God and man. But with power came pressure. When facing the Philistines, Saul was told by Samuel to wait 7 days to offer the sacrifice. The army grew restless. Fear spread. And Saul acted without waiting and made the sacrifice himself. And Samuel said to Saul, "You have done foolishly. You have not kept the command the Lord your God gave you." This moment cracked the foundation. It wasn't just disobedience, it was a shift of trust.
God gave Saul another mission, to completely destroy the Amalekites, king and people, cattle and sheep. But again, he spared the king and kept the best animals. When confronted, he defended his actions. "I have obeyed the command of the Lord." Samuel's reply thundered, "To obey is better than sacrifice, for rebellion is like the sin of divination." The judgment was final. The Lord has rejected you as king. Into this moment of fading favor entered a young shepherd, David. He played the harp for Saul. He slew Goliath when no one else dared, and the people sang, "Saul has slain his thousands, and David his tens of thousands." Jealousy consumed Saul. He threw his spear at David twice. Saul had a spear in his hand, and he hurled it at David. The pursuit had shifted. Saul, who once traveled across hills for missing donkeys, now spent years and hundreds of kilometers chasing David across deserts, caves, and mountains. From Ziph to En-Gedi, Maon to the wilderness of Paran, Saul sought him every day, but God did not give David into his hand. The king who once obeyed his father now defied God. The man who once hid in baggage now obsessed over eliminating his rival.
Saul sought guidance, but God was silent. So he did the unthinkable. He sought out a medium, a forbidden act under his own law. When Saul saw the army of the Philistines, he was afraid, and the Lord did not answer him. He asked the Witch of Endor to summon Samuel, who had already died. The witch did summon up Samuel, and Samuel's message was chilling. "Tomorrow you and your sons will be with me." Saul, the man from the hills of Benjamin, would die on Mount Gilboa, far from home, far from favor. His sons, including beloved Jonathan, were slain. Wounded and surrounded, Saul fell on his own sword. So Saul took his own sword and fell upon it.
Saul's life began with a good pursuit, simple, obedient, faithful. But step by step, pursuit gave way to obsession. In obedience, he first pursued donkeys. But once he was lifted to a higher status, he began to pursue power without patience. He chased performance-based spirituality instead of submitting to the Spirit of God. In bitterness, he pursued people like David, and in desperation, he turned to familiar spirits, seeking the Lord through forbidden means, but found him not. Tragically, in the end, he himself was pursued by his enemies. His life was a downward spiral of misguided pursuits, yet he never pursued the heart of God. The psalmist verily says, "Create in me a clean heart, O God, and renew a right spirit within me." Listener, what are you pursuing? Saul's life warns us not just how one can fall, but how to lose the one thing that matters most: God's presence. God seeks hearts that seek Him.
In the next episode, we meet David, the man Saul feared, but God favored. If you like this episode, please like, share, and subscribe this channel, Refiner's Fire.